Hi guys, and welcome to the Talking Town podcast. Basically, I'm really honoured to have the chance to do this, but I just want to give fans an insight into the club by interviewing different people, hearing their stories, and just like kind of base it on, like the Netflix and Amazon Prime documentaries. So I really hope you like the first episode. It's with the ladies' manager, Jon Maloney, great guy as well, and I hope you like it, share it, whatever you do. And hopefully I'll be back with more interviews with more people around the club. Thanks guys, hope you enjoy. We're here with Jon Maloney for the first episode of Talking Town. And we're going to start with some quick-fire questions. So, John, favourite film?
Favourite film of all time has to be Shawshank Redemption.
Nice one. Favourite TV show?
Well, I'm a little bit older now, so I would probably say, looking back, it would have to be Friends.
Yeah. Favourite song or album?
Oh, that's a very good question. Favourite song, probably We Are the Champions by Queen.
And album?
Oh, good question. Again, don't really listen to too many albums, to be honest. But I did go and see Bohemian Rhapsody at the cinema recently. I don't know, that's got a good album to go along with it with Queen.
Dream job as a child?
Easy one, always wanted to be a footballer. But if I wasn't a footballer, it was always going to be something sport-based, maybe teaching, PE teacher, something like that.
And so this will be an easy one if your dream job was footballing hero as a child?
Footballing hero, yeah, is an easy one. I always looked up to Alan Shearer. Obviously, when I was a bit younger, he was kind of the main striker, both at the top of the kind of the English league and also for England as well. So I always looked up to him as a footballing hero.
I was wondering if you could go through your playing career for us.
Yeah, certainly can. It was quite a long one. Obviously, I started very young. I was at Kirkdeaton Rangers as a youngster from the age of about 7. Was picked up quite young at 8 or 9 and played at Leeds United up until the age of 16, which was an amazing experience. That was when the academies were first kind of coming into effect in England. So I worked my way through the academy system. At 16, I was released by Leeds. Obviously at 16, extremely disappointed. I went and trialled at a few local clubs such as kind of Bradford City, trialled at Leicester City, Grimsby. And at 16, I was picked up by Doncaster Rovers. They'd really just started the youth team the year before, so it was relatively new. So I left home at 16 to go and live in Doncaster, which was a big move, because I was still kind of very young at the time. Studied at college in Doncaster, played for the youth team for 2 years, and was lucky enough at 18 to be offered my first professional contract at 18. And I was kind of on the verge of the first team then at 18, 19. They decided at the time that they were going to get rid of the youth team. So from the age of 18, I was just training with the first team. Luckily enough, at the end of my 3rd year, I made my debut for Doncaster at home to Carlisle. They'd won the league the game before away at Boston when I'd been in the squad but not actually got in the 16. And then I made my debut at home to Carlisle in front of 10,000 fans at Bellevue, which was the old stadium for Doncaster Rovers, which was and probably is still an individual highlight for me making my league debut, because not many people get the opportunity to play in the league. On the back of that, I was then given another year extension at Doncaster. They'd obviously gone up to League One, so again the level was just absolutely incredible really. And then again I played a few games towards the end of that season, kind of April, May time. Just before that I'd gone on loan to York City for 3 months. Had an amazing time at York City. They were obviously in the conference. That was regular first team football and a real kind of eye-opener for me, playing on a regular basis at that level at the age of 19. Then, as I say, came back, played a few more games. Probably the most memorable one was I came off the bench with about half an hour to go at Huddersfield. I think we were 3-0 down at the time, but that was just again an amazing experience playing in front of, I think there was 18,000 there. And then I remember I got called in with the manager at the time, Dave Penny, and he explained to me that they were looking to kind of push on into the Championship, and at that stage didn't feel like I was probably at the level that they were looking for, which deep down I probably agreed with. Realised at that time that was kind of the level that I was looking at. And then I got the opportunity to go to America. Just kind of an amazing experience to go over there, which I'll talk about a little bit later. I was there for 4 years, studied and played played soccer at obviously a very good level over there as well. And then when I came back after the 4 years, signed at Harrogate Town with it was the first season Simon Weaver had taken over. Again, it was a tough experience because the backing financially probably wasn't there at that time that they have at the moment. But it was a great experience nonetheless, playing again National League North level. And then I kind of finished my career last 4 or 5 years at Harrogate Railway.
So just rewinding it a bit, so you were involved at Leeds United when arguably they were at the biggest point in their history. Like what was that like? I believe you were a ball boy for one of the Champions League games.
Yeah, it was amazing really, because as you say, it was when Leeds were flying high in the Champions League and they had all those amazing players. Remember Rio Ferdinand, Jonathan Woodgate, Lee Bowyer, Viduka, Harry Kewell, all these kind of names at the time. And yeah, at 13, 14, 15, we were always invited down to ball boy at the games, and it was games when they drew with Barcelona and we got to meet players like Rivaldo, Luis Enrique. After the game, there was always a little room that the players came out of and before they got on the coach, and we'd always just stand in there. And I'll never forget, I think it was the Barcelona assistant manager came out with little pendants, and he said all the players would come out and sign them all, which was just amazing. Saw them play Real Madrid. Probably the best performance live that I ever saw was Luis Figo in that game when Real Madrid won 2-0. He was just absolutely unbelievable. And one other experience that I remember was when Leeds played Galatasaray at home, obviously after everything that had gone on in the away game. And I'll never forget that kind of atmosphere. It was an intense atmosphere, obviously, after everything that had kind of happened. And obviously there was no away fans that day, so it was a little bit different to normal. But again, just amazing to follow. Been a local lad, follow Leeds and be able to be so close to the action in games and seeing teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona was just absolutely amazing at the age of 14, 15. It's what kind of dreams are made of, really.
Yeah. Like I've been watching Leeds since I was like that similar age. I've only seen them in League One or the Championship. And the highlight is the game against Man United. Imagine them playing against Barcelona and to watch it live.
Oh no, and they were such a young team as well, playing without fear. It was refreshing, really. And as a Leeds fan myself, it's been disappointing the last few years, but hopefully they can get back to a level, obviously where they want to be.
So you mentioned your time in America. Just like to talk through that, like how it came about.
Yeah, it's as I say, I was released from Doncaster. I'd done well at York, but never really heard back from them. So I was in a bit of limbo, really. Didn't really know what to do. I got the opportunity to go to America at 18, but I turned it down at the time because I wanted to make it as professional here in England, like a lot of players do. And then when I'd been released from Doncaster, I got a call from one of my best mates who'd been with Doncaster the year before, called Fozzie, just to say that the University of Montevallo were needing a striker. Would I be interested in going to America? As I say, it's something that I went into not really knowing kind of what I was going into, really. I was just going off the back of what Fozzie had said. But once I got over there, I realised just the high level that they play at, how seriously they take all sports over there at college and university level. The facilities were on a par, if not better, than Doncaster, which I was amazed at. And they just put so much money into kind of athletics over there and all the different sports that it was an amazing opportunity. And obviously the most important thing is that I came out with a degree at the end of it as well after the 4 years. So best 4 years of my life, probably the best football wise. How I played, I loved it. You were training every day and you were playing away trips in Florida, North and South Carolina, so you got to kind of visit a lot of these places as well. So it was a great experience on the footballing side, but even more so a great life experience as well.
So from that experience, like you kind of built your career around that experience.
I did, yeah. It was once I'd been over there and seen what an amazing opportunity it is for players, it was always something that I wanted to do career-wise. When I came back, I was working at a local six-a-side company called Football Mundial. So I was involved in football, which I obviously loved, but there was always this lingering doubt that I wanted to do something to help players go over to America. In 2013, I was given that opportunity. on the women's side to obviously set up and help women footballers live the dream that I did of going over to America, playing and studying at a great level. And I think then there wasn't the coverage that the women's game gets these days. So to see the women's game grow over the last kind of 4 or 5 years has been amazing, and to be able to offer the opportunities up to women's footballers to go over into America and play and study is just it's a passion that I have. Rather, obviously it's a job at the end of the day, but it's a passion that I have, and I went through such an amazing experience. I'm very lucky and very privileged to be able to help women footballers go over and do the same thing as what I did.
So just to obviously you speak very highly of your playing career in America over here. In the news recently, well, it's been going on for years and years, but it seems to have intensified now, is the amount of abuse that fans are giving players. I'm sure, you have done, you'd speak positively about your career. I'm sure most professionals would. But do you think, especially in the last few weeks, you've had actual clubs moving towards social media platforms saying, there's something needs to be done? It's been going on in the terraces for years, but as an ex-pro, was it something that affected you, and is it something that you think can easily be changed?
It was a little bit different when I was obviously a professional, in the fact that I don't think social media was how it is now. Obviously, when I was a pro, that was between 2001 and 2005. For me, fans, obviously, they can voice their opinion at the end of the day. They pay the money to go through the gate. But when you look at it at the moment with the racist side of things, and it doesn't seem like we've moved forward, and obviously the racist side of things is, you can't describe that. It's absolutely awful and shouldn't be seen, not just in football but in any day life really. But I guess with playing football comes the fact that you're going to be criticised, and you've got to obviously not take it personal. As I say, fans have the option to kind of voice their opinion, but as long as when things are going right, they're obviously positive as well, and it's balanced. I've not really got too much issue with that, to be honest.
And also, the fact that you're involved so heavily in the ladies' game, there's obviously a lot of maybe stigma towards the actual ladies' game. So do you think, obviously after the World Cup in the summer, and I've never seen that many people watching it so casually. You could go to your local pub and the games would be on, people would be enjoying it. So I feel like it is becoming more mainstream.
It is. I think the momentum's been growing the last 2 or 3 years, really. You've got there's the women's side, that the players, obviously the level has gone up the last 2 or 3 years with the league going professional, and then within broadcasting now you've got people like Alex Scott who are on TV and do a fantastic job on that side of things as well. So it's great to see the women's game develop along the way, and you're seeing so many more young girls playing now, which is amazing, because they deserve the same opportunity as the boys' side of things. And I don't know whether we'll ever get to a stage where the pay will be the same, just for the fact that so much money is brought in on the men's side. But I'd like to think that over the next 5-10 years that the gap will become closer, because I think the women's side do deserve it. They play at a very high level. As you say, from the World Cup, we're at a stage now where we get to a semi-final and we get beat and we're disappointed, which I think is where we want to be. We want to be pushing for those main titles, and I think hopefully with the Euros in 2021, the team can push that one extra step, because I think that'll be the turning point if we win a European Championship or we win a World Cup. As I say, the momentum's been building, but I think that'll be the breaking point in the women's game, where more people will take it that a bit more seriously.
So moving on to all things Harrogate Town. So Irving and Simon Weaver aren't actually the only father-son duo involved. I believe, I'm not sure of the exact title, but is Jon Maloney is director of women's football?
He's the director of women's football.
Yeah, so what's that dynamic like?
It's good. My dad's always had a big passion for the women's game ever since I started the women's side at SRUSA in 2013. He's kind of been along the whole journey with me, really. And it was something we spoke with, obviously the gaffer and Irving, the chairman, when the 3G pitch went down, and they were fully behind a women's setup at Harrogate Town, because they'd had one in the past, but it hadn't been running for a number of years. So over 3 years ago now, we set up the open age women's team, with a lot of help from the West Riding FA as well, which was great. They were obviously fully behind it. On that side of things, We obviously gained promotion the first 2 years through kind of the local regional leagues, and now in the North East Regional Premier League, which is a very tough league. We've got teams like Farsley, Hartlepool, so we're playing at a very competitive level, which is great. Obviously, as I say, that was kind of 3 years ago. We were looking at setting up an open age women team, but we soon kind of saw within the Harrogate area just how seriously women and girls, they want to play and they want to enjoy playing football. So after the first year, we were able to set up a development team, which is mainly local women and girls footballers between the ages of 16 and 20. So we've actually got 2 kind of open age teams at Harrogate Town, which is great to see. We've got obviously quality throughout, but it's great to see the younger players wanting to play and enjoy playing as well. And then alongside that, we saw that there was the opportunity to get kind of specialised coaching for female players between the age of 8 and 16. What we didn't want to do is take players away from kind of the local grassroots clubs. So we set up the Play Development Centre. That was set up about 2 years ago. I remember when we first started the first year, there was probably 10 to 12 female and girls players that came on a Friday, just between 5 and 6. And now it's grown to a stage where we've got 3 or 4 age groups, and you've got 50 plus girls playing football every Friday at the C&G Stadium. So it's amazing to see the growth on that side of things. And as I talked about before, with the Open Age England women's team and the Lionesses doing so well, girls are seeing it in the public eye now, and they want to be footballers, which is amazing to see.
So what is it like working for Harrogate Town? This podcast will give like a bit of fans a bit of insight. So do you feel pressure? Is it or is it? Do you enjoy it? Or?
No, not really. I love working down there. I've got there's different facets really to what I do. There's the Open Age women's team, which I run alongside obviously other great coaches. There's Ben Sadler, Martin Powell, Matthew Edwards, who looks after the goalkeepers, and Charlie Lloyd, who looks after the development team. So it's very much a team effort on the Open Age team. And then I do the coaching side of the PDC, which is obviously very different to the Open Age. I look after kind of the 12s and 13s, so it's more about understanding of the game and getting plenty of touches on the ball. And then within that as well, within club at Harrogate Town, we've got the side that works within schools, and I do a bit of work in schools, which is all kind of working towards, I guess, the bigger Harrogate Town family, and the fact that they'll come down, they'll come to the matches, the men's games, the women's games, and they'll see just exactly what the club's about. But it's been, since they put the 3G pitch down, it's just been absolutely transformed. And the fact that when I was playing there, it was on the grass pitch, which slanted right down into the corner, which as a right back I never really got out of, to be honest. But now it's an amazing club to kind of be involved with, and especially on the women's and girls side, which I concentrate a little bit more on. We want to push the club forward, and we just want as many female players playing the game in the local area and getting the opportunities that they deserve.
So do you believe the club has potential on men's and the women's side to grow and grow?
Oh, definitely, yeah. The first team on the men's side has obviously proved that over the last couple of years, from kind of being in Conference North to being there or thereabouts in Conference Premier and looking at league football, which has been amazing to see. And then the same on the women's side, it's obviously a little bit different. We want to do well, and we want to obviously look to get promoted and do well in stuff like the FA Cup, which is this weekend, and everything like that. And then on the youth side, it's, I guess, the boys and girls are very similar in the fact that we want to give opportunities to players in the local area to play for a club that they're proud of.
Yeah. Thanks for taking part in the first podcast.
No worries, Isaac. Thanks very much.
And best of luck this season.
Yeah, thanks very much.